Welcome back. We'll continue the next topic today, process creation. We know that in the previous classes what is process, how many types of process, we know that already. So how to create new process, it is very very important. So in this class I want to give you brief discussion about process creation. Okay, process creation. In the previous classes, foreground process is there, background process is there, interactive process, non-interactive process, okay, parent process, child process. We will see the different types of processes. We can see that. So now in this class, how to create new process. So how to create new process. Here, how to create new process. Here, creation of process. Creation of process. We'll see here there are 4 distinct phases mechanism it will be followed to create new process. So whatever in the Windows operating system or Linux operating system or Unix operating system, whatever the operating system, these 4 things must be followed. Any process it will be created. So these 4 distinct phases are very very important. Okay. So whatever the operating system, we must follow these 4 phases. Okay. So even operating system changes, but the process is never changes. Okay. Even operating system Windows process is same, Linux process is same. Okay. Whatever the process, it will be follow how to create new processes. We have to follow the 4 distinct phases. 4 distinct phases. What are that? Here, first thing is we will create new process. We will follow the fork system call. We will follow the fork system call. So whenever the new process you will be created any operating system, so this system call must be very very important. So the fork system call create a new process. Okay. The fork system call creates a new process. After creating, so it will be executed. The second step is EXE system call. EXE system call. EXE means executing. So if you are created new process, that will be executing. Okay. So here EXE system call, we can use it after creating new process, it will be executed automatically. If it is executed, we are exited. Okay. So that process is completed, we are exit state. So sometimes we are giving the waiting state. Why this comes the waiting state? So not only create single process, the processor not only creates single process, multiple number of process is executed. Some process is in the starting stage, some process is in the middle stage, some process is in the execution stage. So that's why more processing is executed. So at the time, so sometimes the process will be waiting state. Okay. So already current process is going. So new process is disturbing. So the new process is executed first and then current process is executed. So that's why here sometimes the waiting state is there. I will show you the diagram. So this is the step. This is the 1, 2. This is the 3rd step. Sometimes there may be a waiting state is there. This is the 4th step. So these 4 steps are mandatory to use that creation of new process. Whenever you are creating new process, these 4 phases are very very important. What is that? Fork system call creates new process. EXE system call creates a new process execution, and exit status whenever executed, so automatically exit status. If any problem is happened, it will be waiting state. So this is 4 phases are using in the process creation. One by one we can see that briefly. First one is fork system call. If you are creating new process, we must be use the fork system call. Okay, so that's why it creates a chained process. The fork system call creates a chained process. A new process is created because an existing process creates an extract copy of itself. So already parent process is there. So the parent properties are comes under child. So that's why creates a child process. So new process is child process. A new process is created because an existing process, it means that parent process. This is the child process, it is the parent process. Parent process creates an extract copy of itself. Extract copy of itself. Okay? So that's why we can use that fork system call. The child process has the same environment as to parent, but only the PID, process ID. PID means process ID. This child process has the same environment. Same environment. So the parent, what environment is followed, in the same environment, child process is also followed. So that's why same environment has its parent, but only the PID has to different. So parent PID is different, parent PID is different, child PID is different. Child PID is different. The only difference is parent child. Suppose parent ID is some 201. So child PID is some 204 like that. Okay. So here the ID is different. Parent ID is different. Child ID is different. So it is the main difference between the parent and child process. So here existing process means a parent process. Here creates new process means it is a child process. Okay. So here the difference is the child process has to the same environment as it follow the parent, but only the difference is PID. The only the difference is process ID. This process produced known as a forking. This process is called as, this procedure is called as fork. Okay, fork system. So the process IDs will be changed automatically. The fork system call is comes under. Okay, so this is the first method. First phase, we will create the new process. Okay, how to create new process? Based on the fork system call, we can create new process. Next, EXEE system call. EXEE system call. After creating the new process, that process is executed. Okay, how to execute it? Based on EXEE system call. Here, after forking the process, the address space of the child process is overwritten by the new process data. This is done through EXEE system call. Execute. EXE means execution of the process. EXEE system call to the system. No new process is created because of already overlapped. So that's why no new process is created over her. The PID and PPID. Here PID means this is the child. PPID means parent process ID. Parent process ID. Here PID means child. Here PPID means parent process ID remains to encourage. Okay, unchanged. Okay, so these both are unchanged. Okay, so how it is executed, I will show you that. Okay, so here after creating the new process, we are using the EXE system call to execute the parent process and child process. Next one is, if executed, automatically exit status is there. Okay, exit command is there. Automatically your process will be exited. Okay, so sometimes there may be waiting state. How it comes to the waiting state? Okay, so actually exit. So this is the second step. third step is exit status, exit method. So automatically whenever the process is created, that will be executed, automatically it will be existed, okay, out of this process, okay. So here the fourth step is waiting state. How it comes to the waiting state? Fourth waiting state. The parent then executes a wait system call to wait for the child process. To wait for the child process. The parent is created new process, that the new process is executed first and then the parent will be executed. So that's why here wait for the child process to complete child process. First complete the child process and its execution. After that the parent process is executed. Okay. So here the first child process is executed. After that the parent process is executed. So that's why here waiting state is there. Okay. How it comes waiting state? First whenever created new process, that process is executed. So at that time the parent process is waiting state. So how much time is waiting state? Whenever the parent child process is completed execution, then immediately the parent process is executed. At that time it will be waiting state. We will be waiting, parent will be waiting state. First the child process is executed and then the parent process is executed. That's why sometimes we can use a wait system call. Okay, I will show you that brief discussion here. So running of shell, here running of shell, here PID is 44. This is the parent. Okay, parent process. So the parent process is using the fork system call to create child process. This is a parent. This is parent process. This is child process. You can observe it here. PID is 44. Here PID is 44. Here PID is 45. Because of it is new process. That's why the PID is changing. Okay, I told you already. Here, what is that? PID is different. Okay, parent PID is different, child PID is different. So that's why here. So here the parent process ID is 44, child process ID is 45. Okay, so it is unique because of each and every process PID is unique. Okay, not same. Okay, so that's why here, so both the process. So first we are using the parent process is created using with the help of fork. It will be created new process. Okay, PID. After new process, the next step is EXE system call. We will use the EXE system call. So the child process 45 is executed. PID 45. PID 45 means child process. Child process is running. Okay. At that time, the parent will be waiting state because of already child process is processing. That's why. So the parent process is a waiting state. The parent process is waiting state. Here, the parent process is waiting state. So after completion of child process, we will use the exit status. Automatically, the parent will be outside. We will use the parent will be outside. Okay. So this is sometimes overlap. That's why the parent is waiting state. Why it is overlap? These both are comes at the same time. Parent and child. At that time there may be a clash. So that's why the parent will be sacrificed to the child. The child process is executed, then only the parent is executed. So that's why here after completion of the exit status of child process, immediately the signal goes to the parent. The parent will be executed. Next, immediately the signal is going to the parent. The parent is automatically executed. So this is the process, comes under process creation. Okay, how it is executed process? So first we will create the fork system call to use to create the child process. Then exe system call you can apply to execute the child process. So after that exit status will outside, comes into the outside. So see that here automatically exit status, the child is executed already. So after that whenever the child process is finished, that signal is going to the parent. The signal is going to the parent. The parent is again, it will be executed. The parent is again executed. Here 4 steps you can observe. This is the first step. This is the second step. This is the third step. So sometimes this is the 4th step, waiting state. Observe it. First step, using fork system call, create new process. Second step, using exe system call, new process is running. After that, it will be exit. So this is the process common to each and every operating system. So here no clash is there. So that's why here waiting state. The parent is waiting state. So this is the 4th step. These are the things are using in the parent and child, creating the new process. Okay, creating the new process. So this is the very, very important diagram I have to draw clearly in the exams. Okay, so I will show you some important things. Okay, here lifetime of the process is divided into states that describe the process for the following. So here some lifetime of the process, it will be follow some steps. I will give you small information. This is not in the creation of new process, but all these are things you will know that. That's why this information will be. Okay, process is executed in the user mode. Each and every process is executed in the user mode, not in the system mode. Because of we are creating new process, no? So that's why the process is executed in the user mode. The process is executed in the user mode. Next one, process is executed in the kernel mode. So some process is executed in the user mode, some process is executed in the kernel mode. Kernel mode means system mode. Okay, user created process are executed in the user mode with the help of kernel. Okay, so process is executed in the kernel mode means, so completely depends on system mode. Okay, so these two things are very, very important. Next, process is not executing but the ready to the run kernel schedule. Okay, so the kernel will be follow some schedule. Based on the schedule only your process will be executed. Okay, so the kernel will be follow the schedule. The kernel will be follow the schedule based on the priority. Okay, so based on the priority, so it will be executed one by one each and every process. One by one each and every process. These things are very, very important. Okay, what is the third step? Process is not executed, but when it is executed, it ready to run a kernel schedule. Kernel schedule will be followed. Okay, otherwise it will not be executed. The kernel is giving the schedule, that schedule only it will be followed to execute one by one. Okay, this is very, very important. Next, 4th step is process is a sleeping state. So job control, this is one type of job control. So how much time we are sleeping to the particular process, waiting state. So I will show you that the command is there, sleep command is there. Okay, here the process is sleeping or reside in the memory. Okay, in the memory, so some process sometimes we are sleeping state. we are giving the sleeping state. Because of the kernel is very busy now. At the time, some process we are using in the sleeping state. The kernel is busy. At the time, some process is in the sleeping state. The kernel is busy. Okay. Otherwise, no sleeping state. Okay. So this is the fourth step. Okay. This is also comes under process execution. Okay. Next, fifth step. Process is ready to run, but the swapper must be swap the process into the memory. Swapper must be swap the process into the memory. So in the memory, multiple number of processes will be stored. So which one is first executed? So based on the priority, it will be executed. So that's why the process is ready to run, but swapper is there. Must be swap process into the memory. Why it is must be swap? Based on the priority, it will be executed. That's why it is swap. Okay. This is the point used in the process execution. Next, sixth step is process is sleeping. The swapper swap the process into secondary storage. Secondary storage. So secondary storage means it is also one of the memory. Okay. So whenever the primary memory is full, then only it will be shifted into the secondary. So the process is sleeping. The swapper swap the process into secondary storage. So sleeping process, all processes are stored in the secondary storage. It means that. Okay, some process we are in the sleeping state. Okay, so we are assigning in the sleeping state because of the kernel is very busy now. So that's why. So some process is a sleeping state. So that sleeping state process, all processes are stored in the secondary storage. Secondary storage. So that's why this process execution point is used. Okay. Next, seventh step. Process is returning from the kernel to the user mode. Here, kernel to the user mode. The process is returning. How it is returning? Kernel to the user mode. Kernel to the user mode. User mode to the kernel mode. So this will be swapping like that. Okay. So process is returning from kernel to the user mode. Kernel is processing after, it will be sent to the user mode. User mode is giving to the any input to the particular type, and then again the kernel will be processed. So it is the point using the process execution. Next, process is newly created. How it is created? Newly created using fork system call. Newly created. It is called as child process. The process is newly created and returns to the transition state. It means that changing state. It means that one state changed to another state. So that means that transition state. The process is newly created, runs into the transition state. It is also a very important point. The last point, process execution, the exit system call. So whenever the process is executed, so automatically exit system call and moves to the zombie state. So after completion of process, we have to move to the zombie state. Okay. So the zombie state is the final state of the process. Zombie state is the final state of the process. Okay. These are the things are very, very important. So you can see that first the process is executed in the user mode, the process is executed in the kernel mode. Some process is executed in the user mode, some process is executed in the kernel mode. With the help of user mode with the help of kernel is process. It is very, very important. After that, the process is not executing but ready to run the kernel schedule. Okay, the kernel will be giving the schedule, then only the process is executed. Otherwise, not executed. It is the point. The process is sleeping, resides on the memory. So where it is sleeping, memory, the process is sleeping. Okay, because of the kernel is busy, that's why we are in the sleeping state. Okay, so this is fourth. Now, fifth point, the process is ready to run, but swapper must be swap the process into the memory. It is also done. Process is sleeping and swapper swap the process in the secondary storage. Whatever the sleeping state process is there, that will be stored in the secondary memory, secondary storage. Okay. Next, the process is returning from the kernel to user, user to kernel. Okay. So the process is newly created, runs in the transition state. Newly created, it comes under the transition state. And the last point is the process is executed. The existing system call moves to the zombie state. Automatically, when the execution is completed, moves into the zombie state. It is the final state. Okay. So it will be executed process. This is the process creation. These are the following process execution steps. Following process execution steps. What I am discussing in this class, how to create new process. It will be follow 4 steps. Fork system call, execute system call, exit status. After that, if it is waiting state is there. Okay. So fork system call, how it is, existing system call, exe system call, waiting state, how it is happening. So all these things under we are using the phases of process creation. So this is a procedure we must follow to execute each and every process. Okay. So here the lifetime of the process execution. These steps will be followed. Okay. So total 9 steps. These steps are very, very important to execute the each and every process. Okay, creation, new process creation. It will be executed. These are the information about the process creation. And